My name is Cody Riebel, and this is my 2007 Volkswagen GTI. So today I wanted to sit down and go over the build list of everything that I have done to this car. Before we get into anything, I want to take a second and appreciate all of the people who have helped me with this project and finish this. My cousin Noah, my buddy Owen, my best friend Kobe, and many more that had come over and put in many hours getting this thing where it is today. So first things first, let's kind of go over an overview of what made me do this setup and what made me do more to the GTI. Because before I did all this, I told myself honestly, like, I was done with the car. I didn't want to do any more modifications. I liked how it was and I loved it. So rewind to November of last year. I debeaded a tire and I just lost all motivation. To be completely honest with you guys, I lost all motivation for the car. I parked it, didn't touch it for a month, and over that month, I was able to sit back and realize the passion that I had for this car and how happy that it made me every time I drive it. So it kind of gave me an itch to start working on it again. I'd go out and work here and there in the shop. Our shop at the house is really cold in the winter. We have no insulation, no heater, and here in Spokane, it gets really cold in the wintertime. We are barely getting no snow now, and it's middle of March. So, it's pretty crazy that we took on this project knowing how big it was gonna be, but I'm super glad that we were able to finish it. So once I started digging into the car and realizing how bad I kind of slacked, because I've had this car for almost 5 years now. This was the first car I got when I turned 16, and it has been through multiple different stages. I mean, it's been wrapped 5 times. It's on the 3rd motor now. I learned everything I know on this car, and it really pushed me to keep, putting the time and effort and hours into this car to make it perfect and make it everything I ever wanted. So one day we were in the shop and we were kind of just looking at the car, going over everything that we wanted to do to it, kind of getting a game plan on what we wanted to build, because I was kind of at a point to where I picked up a truck. I knew I could drive that. I didn't have to worry about driving the GTI every single day. So I was really able to do everything I've ever wanted to do on it. And I ended up posting a picture on my story. I'm not sure if you guys watched some of the previous videos, but I had posted a picture on my Instagram story of just the car being neglected. I posted that, this guy commented on the story post, he was like, "Buy my engine." And I was like, well, I mean, what's so crazy about your engine? And he was like, "Oh, it's fully built, this, that." And I'm like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's fully built." I'm like, "Bro, I am about to add so much camber to my car, like I need any more power, like I don't need that right now." And then he said that the motor only had 11,000 miles on it. Once he said the car had 11,000 miles on it, my ears kind of peaked up, and I was more interested in what more was done to the car. So I texted him and I was like, "Hey, like, what had previously happened to it? Why are you just selling the engine?" And he told me that he got into a crash and totaled the car, unfortunately. And I told him, I was like, "Honestly, man, I don't need any more power right now, but I could use a motor with 11,000 miles on it, that's for sure." And that was kind of like the moment where I was like, if the price is right, I would do it, but it just didn't seem reasonable to me. It really didn't. So fast forward a few weeks, we ended up coming and agreeing on a price, and he ended up telling me like a few weeks before we went and picked it up, "Hey, like I'm willing to sell this whole car to you for this price if you're willing to bring a trailer and pick it up." And I was like, "Well, does it roll?" And he was like, "Yeah." I said, "Perfect." So we came up with the money, me and Owen busted butt. We drove to Portland, picked up the car, and brought it back home and started digging into everything that was done to it and finding out all the goodies that came with it. We were so surprised. It came with Brembo brakes. It came with brand new drilled slotted rotors for the rears. It came with a roof box. It came with a big turbo. It came with so much stuff, and we were just like a kids at a candy store, as anybody would be. But I think it was at that moment that we realized how deep we really got ourselves into this project. So now I'm going to kind of start going over everything that is done to it. And then I am going to reveal to you guys the whole new look. So for the engine on this car, when we ended up pulling it apart, he sent me a full build list of what was done to it. And it ended up having pistons, rods, bigger turbo, new injectors, new fuel pump, front mount intercooler, and all of this stuff was top of the line, and it was built by a shop named Futrell Autoworks. They have a really good reputation behind their name, and they've been in business for a long time, so I really trusted their work, and I trusted that it was going to be reliable. They started the engine when we got there to check it out, so we ended up throwing that in, and as some of you guys know, this car wasn't automatic. The reasons I say that is because yes, we did do a manual swap, and I'm sure that's probably gonna be like my most favorite thing about this whole different setup is the manual part, because honestly, growing up through high school, like all the people in the car scene around here, if you don't drive a manual, you know, they didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that I drove an automatic, which honestly didn't personally bother me. I just kind of was like, whatever. It did when I was younger, but I kind of sat back and realized that, you know, me getting upset at that over something that I personally can't control is just a waste of my time. So, you know, having this car manual now is just, it's so nice to me, and I am so incredibly happy that we were able to do it and make it work. You know, because I have done plenty of research on the Mark V platform, and I have yet to see someone do a manual swap to an automatic. And I did it with me and all my friends. We just put the hours in and we got it done. I think in the one weekend that I had everybody over to all hands on deck, we ended up doing so much and getting so much done. We got everything pulled out of my car, the wiring harness, interior, dash, everything. We stripped this whole car right here, as you guys are seeing, down to the absolute bare frame on the insides. No motor in it, no engine harness, like there was no wires left in the car. And at that moment, I was kind of nervous because I'm like, you know, I don't know that I'm going to get this back together, but you know, I trusted myself and I had all the confidence in the world to want to complete this project and do something that no one's done before. So with that being said, we did do a roof box setup on this car. We did get some new wheels. I'm gonna show you guys that here in a few, but I am so happy with how this turned out. And like I said, you guys, I cannot thank the people who helped me out and pushed me to do all I can to get this car back on the road and running 100%. There are still a few little things that we are working out, and as expected when you do this much to a car, there's obviously stuff that, you know, you run into complications, and I'm 100% ready for that. But this was such a fun project, you guys, and I am so excited for it to be done. Taking the car out to shows this year, and I can't wait to take you guys along with me to these shows, show the car, get people's reactions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and, you know, staying until the end. I'm really excited to show you guys this build. It's been in the works for a couple months. But without further ado, let's show you guys the new setup.
Take me to the river, my secret friend, so we can swim.